What is happening, guys? Welcome to another episode of Comic Book Weekly. We are all here. We have another great show for you planned today. We're going to be talking about some Spider-Boy crap. We're going to be talking about some Spider-Verse stuff because the trailer was dropped, I guess, today. I didn't even realize it was dropped. And then I saw Brant's message on there, and he's like, oh, I'm going to watch the – hopefully I have time to watch the trailer.
I didn't.
And I was like, there's a Spider-Verse trailer that dropped. I'm like, oh my God. So I'm like, I'm going to have to check it out. So I watched it before I jumped in the shower. And so, yeah, we got news, we got comics, we got all kinds of great stuff. And I think what we're going to do today, once again, I think we're going to jump into the comics first.
It's a lot of news.
Yeah, let me just get into the drive here. And we're very unorganized today.
We should also – oh, go on.
No, I was just going to say just because, like, I was at MegaCon this week and I was trying to play catch-up today. And I did get all my comics read, which was nice, but it was like I wasn't prepared for the show. And my desk is a mess, and I'm trying to work at it. So, but I think I'm ready now. I think so.
And also, we should mention we do have the Patreon. So if you guys want to support us at all on Patreon, this week we did post Brant's Haul. So if you are curious what Brant is getting this week, you could check that out. And then Mike, you had a video if you want to talk about that, and then we'll obviously plug this again.
Yeah, I did a topic video on there about, like, you know, what was the first comics that you ever received in your collection, whether it was given to you or someone, you know, you went to the store or whatever the case may be. And I gave my story. So yeah, a nice little quick topic video on there for you guys to explore. So like I said, hopefully you guys can support the Patreon. It's always much appreciated. It does make it a little bit easier for us to continue to run the show.
Yep.
And also, we'll obviously shout you guys out if you have, if you are part of Patreon, and then also give us ideas of what you want to see. That really helps as well. I do see Kaio who mentions Dan Slott's doing a signing on Thursday at Midtown Comics. Can I get you a Spider-Man issue 7? Look, Kaio, that is very, very generous. If that's something you want to do at that day, you could make a decision. But you know, you don't have to if you. But that's very nice of you.
It's very nice. Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. So I guess today we're going to talk about those comics first, and then we'll go into the topics. So just real quick, just want to say hi to for the folks that are out there. We got Tizzy the Great. We have Cool Dude. Kenneth is on. KO, like we already said. And let's see who else we got. Get the Key Comic is on there. Cosmic Toby 911 is on there. So Willie's on. So thanks guys for the early join, and hopefully you'll stay with us throughout the entire show. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's get started here. Newest comics this week that came out. First one is Unstoppable Doom Patrol. This is issue 1. Brant didn't read this book.
I've never been a Doom Patrol fan. And
I'm not either. You know, but I thought this book was entertaining. It wasn't like it didn't blow me away or whatnot. But I felt like it had to start somewhere with this group, and I felt like you got a couple new characters in there. There was like the new chief of Doom Patrol. There was this character by the name of, was her name Beast Girl? I think it was, that she was in there too. And they were set to do a mission in Gotham. Batman made his appearance, but he quickly disappeared in the comic. And Peacemaker's in this book, and it looks like they're gathering an evil team or whatnot. So I thought it was enjoyable. It's worth a second issue for me, just to see how it continues to develop, because I want to give it a chance to see if I can get into Doom Patrol.
Okay.
I don't think I can.
I knew I knew that from the start. I'm actually surprised you picked it up, though.
Probably for Peacemaker,
I had to give it a shot. Yeah, no, I liked Peacemaker. That was pretty good. No, I didn't hate it. I wanted to give a lot of these DC books a try, Because look, especially in New 52, you had some wonderful titles you never thought you'd get into, like Animal Man or Swamp Thing. So I wanted to see what it was all about, especially because it wasn't like the same type of creators writing it. It was someone new. So I was like, oh, maybe this will be, I don't want to say new reader friendly, but maybe this will be a palate cleanser for new readers. But I feel like I don't know if this book does a service to anybody because it wasn't very Grant Morrissey. It wasn't very like that. Now it's a verb. Grant Morrissey. It wasn't very much like the Gerard Way volume. It felt very superhero-ish, but then also just felt really like the television show. So I think that's who they're trying to aim for. So
No,
we'll see.
I don't know.
I never watched the show either, so
I've only seen the pilot.
I only
Yeah,
got
I
through
think
half of the pilot.
I think that's what I got to, a couple, maybe 1 or 2 episodes of the pilot. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I wanted to try it out, and I'll give it a couple issues to see if either it will improve for me and I like it more, or if it will decline and I find myself not interested. So
Willie
see.
Belcher says, "Who? Yeah, the Doom Patrol is maybe not the most famous DC team."
All right. So yeah, Tizzy says, I know nothing of Doom Patrol either, but it was an okay book. I'll pick up issue 2. And then Kenneth says, I've been enjoying the dawn of DC titles, especially the Superman titles, and just did pre-order Green Arrow issue 1 from eBay. From eBay?
I didn't know you could pre-order from eBay.
I don't.
That's a new
I
one.
wonder if that's a. I mean, I'm not saying eBay's not a trustworthy place, but
yeah,
I'm curious, like how long it takes for that to come to your doorstep. I guess is what I'm questioning on an eBay purchase.
I mean,
Right.
I guess some stores probably do business through there. I don't know.
Maybe, yeah. So I don't know. We'll see.
You have to let us know, Kenneth, when you get Green Arrow issue 1.
All right. So let's continue on and talk about It's Jeff issue 1. So this is the book that was on Marvel Unlimited, and it came out physically. And I actually absolutely loved this book. I thought
I was so surprised by it.
It was brilliant. There was no dialogue in the book whatsoever. But what this book is that it either put a smile on your face or made you laugh out loud. And I felt that if you were, say, in the middle of reading a whole bunch of comic books and you wanted like a palate cleanser, this is exactly what this comic did for you. And I loved it, man. It was a page turner for me. I wanted to, read every single little short story in there, and it was awesome. And I would love to see more of this. Maybe not every month, but just like a type of thing where it's, maybe quarterly or something like that. And I feel like this is a great book for all ages too.
I agree. Like, oh man, it's silent issue. This is not going to be great. And then I read it. I'm like, there's so much detail in the art. It was really funny. It was interesting. I was telling, I went to see 2E2 this weekend and I was rooming with my business partner, Phil. And I was talking about, somehow It's Jeff came up and I was talking about the comic and I was like, oh, it was really cute. Like, and I was showing him like the scenes. He's like, who are you? He's like, this doesn't sound like Cat at all. You thinking something's cute? That's crazy. And you liking a story because it's cute. But I thought it really worked for this because there's just so many little Easter eggs in it. I really liked it. I thought it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was fine.
Oh man, I saw it with a smile on your face, Brand. I knew you're gonna have no fun with it.
It was fine. It was fun, but it's kind of weird because we often talk about how we don't like when Marvel does these digital titles because we forget about them, we don't read them and all this stuff. But as I'm looking through this, I'm like, man, this would probably have been better as like a strip on the web that I read like week to week or not read but looked at. I mean, it was fine. It was fun, is what it is. But I don't know. I don't know what I was expecting, but I was hoping for a little bit more.
I like that Marvel was doing something different. Like I like that it felt nothing like Marvel, but it was in this universe. I think it's gonna attract a lot of different types of readers. I thought it actually transitioned to the physical book really well. I don't know. It felt like an anthology with purpose, even though it's not an anthology. I'm curious to see if we'll get more.
The one thing I didn't like about it is like this is a book that I don't think you need to charge $6.99 for.
Oh, absolutely not.
So that's what I was a little bit upset. This is a book where you could have easily charged $3.99, even though it was more pages. It's just a book that I think, would want to get in as many people's hands as possible, because it is an all ages book. Because it's like, say I wanted to read that to like my daughter or even a younger audience out there, and some people might be deterred by that price point. You know what I'm saying? And I just felt like something like that should be definitely more affordable for people. But at the flip side of it, I just enjoyed it. I just thought Jeff is a great character, and I had a lot of fun with it. It was something I had no expectations for, and I felt like the way they written it was good, because it was like, maybe if you threw in the dialogue, it would have ruined the comic, right? And so the artwork just went so well with the stories that they were trying to tell there, So I don't know. I had a great time with it.
It was really nice art. And like I said, I don't know what I expected from it.
Right.
And I love Jeff and all that stuff, but I don't know. If I was going into it thinking, okay, this is like like a newspaper cartoon strip, maybe I would have, been more entertained by it. I couldn't find my words, but it was fine. I didn't hate it or anything.
No, I'm not saying you did. I just was like, again, overly surprised on how nice it looked, and the time spent on it, I felt was cool.
Yeah.
Because it takes a lot to tell a story, obviously, with no dialogue, especially that many stories, and still have somewhat of an impact to, get some emotion out of you, So,
and it shows the creative team was just so good in that regard, that they worked so well together. Because this book shouldn't have worked, right? This book is a silent book about, almost a dog-like character, and like, who cares, right? But somehow it works, and it's funny and it's fun, and I hope this is like a once-a-year thing. I'd be happy with that.
Cool. All right, let's talk about Ambassadors issue 1. I totally missed this because I think this was the one that was written by Mark Miller, and I just totally didn't even realize it was written by him, so I didn't even pick it up.
I didn't love it. Brant, what did you think about this one? I thought I knew the premise going into it, but I didn't get that premise when I was reading it.
I mean, again, it was another one that it was fine. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't great. It was just kind of there. I thought the concept was interesting. Like originally, like when like you said, Kat, that superpowers and only 6 people in the world can have them, who gets them, and that kind of thing. But it was, the story was different than what I thought it was going to be, I guess. And
didn't give enough for an issue 2.
No, I agree. It was like this super scientist figured out a way to create superpowers and was only giving them to certain people. And like now her husband has, her ex whatever has, or was it her ex-husband or ex-business partner or something like that? I don't even remember now. But he had powers too, and then they were going to come into conflict and that kind of thing. So it was a little weird. So
felt like a lot was being thrown too.
Yeah,
it takes it like half the issue to get to the main superhero.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, that being said, since that book was like maybe okay for you guys, what was your number 5, Brant?
By default, Avengers Beyond. I didn't love a lot of my books this week. They were just kind of okay. That was, I mean, it's a continuation from All Out, and we got more of the plot in this one, where as we find out that the Beyonder is not the one that's behind. I mean, he is behind all of it, but for the purposes of helping the Avengers instead of attacking the Avengers, because there's some big threat that created the Beyonders that is coming into play, and so that kind of made the story a little bit more rich than we had thought in the original series. So, same kind of pacing, same kind of art that we got in All Out. So, it was a fun book.
I wish they just continued it though, because
Yeah,
I felt
I
like they
do
had
too.
to do a lot of explaining
Yeah.
to get people to understand what happened, because it
Hmm.
was a new number one. And there was a lot of story there, a
Yeah.
lot more story than we got in like all the issues combined from
It's
1 through 5,
probably true. Yeah.
you know. But with that being said, I did appreciate the story. I liked how I didn't know that there was more than one Beyonder.
Yeah, I
I
didn't
didn't
either.
know there was a whole race of them, and that they were created by this, what was he called, the Lost One or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, something like
And they
that.
imprisoned him to steal his powers, and now he broke free and he's slaughtering all the Beyonders. I mean, I thought that was kind of cool. It was
Yeah.
a very interesting story. So I did like it. She-Hulk was in it, and she was actually battling. She was actually active in the book,
Yeah.
which I thought was funny. I liked it. But yeah, it was a good book. It was solid. It just took a lot of explaining to the reader of what was going on. But I'm looking forward to the next issue for sure.
Yeah.
All
Jeff
right.
agrees with me.
What do you got, Kat?
Stargirl issue. I think it's penultimate issue.
Oh,
think
I
it's
forgot
5.
it. I forgot all about that book. I didn't even put it in my rankings.
Did you read it?
Yeah, I did read it. I just forgot about it.
Well, now redo your ranking. No,
Yeah.
no, it was a fine issue. I thought this was better than some of the previous issues. I liked how I felt like the lost children were a little bit more defined in this issue. They focused on like a few select ones instead of like, here's this whole group. And it's really about Stargirl trying to get to Miko. And then our man is in the end, so we'll see what he has to do with everything. But it's a solid book. I have fun with it. It's kind of the middle of a road book, but it's still always fun to read.
I really enjoyed this book. That probably would have been my number 5 actually, if I remembered it. But
So we have the same number 5 then.
yeah,
Yeah, you just flipped it. There you go.
yeah. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed this book, and yes, I mean, it's not like groundbreaking, it's not like blowing my mind or anything, but I do just get a solid enjoyment out of this book every single issue for me. But I do agree that because we put Emiko back into the mix and like connected all the children now in this, and it was like big battles and everything, that this was a more fun issue. Excuse me. So yeah.
We also have a question about Stargirl. So how do you think Stargirl Lost Children will affect the main universe? Honestly, I don't think it will. I think a lot of these miniseries tend to just kind of do its own thing. So maybe if the JSA wants to pick up those stuff, because I think Jeff Johns is writing both, I
Yeah.
can see that happening. If it's going to affect anything, it might be there.
Yeah, because the whole premise is she's trying to get all these children back into their original timelines. So they're basically just going to disappear again, right? Because they just went back into wherever they went missing, and maybe they'll pick up one or two and do something with them eventually. But I wouldn't expect like a big, there's all these characters you never heard of popping up everywhere.
There was another question I think about Mark Millar. So, infamous Mike Mahan said, Mark Millar is a comic called Big Game, where a lot of his comics are crossing over. You going to pick that up? I didn't even know it existed, so I guess so.
I talked about it a few weeks ago that all these current books, Nightclub, Ambassadors, all that stuff were going to cross over.
You did. So it's only the current books, though.
As far as I know,
maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
If it's just the current books, I think I'm good because I don't read any of them. So
I probably will because I'm reading Nightclub and Nemesis.
Yeah, I'll pick it up.
So,
all right. So my number 5 was Jeff the Landshark. So that's easy right there. It is too good for me not to put it in my top 5. All right. So let's move on and talk about Dark Knights of Steel issue 10. I thought this book was really good because we kind of get the story of who the White Martians are and how they fought I guess, what do you want to call them? Green Martians. I guess that's what it is. You got that whole story there, how that whole war started, how the White Martians came to this Earth, and is trying to get back at anybody who is, I guess, part of the Green Martians. And I love the I'm trying to remember what happened. Oh, I love the ending of this book as well, with the whole Lex Luthor thing, the Lex Luthor Green Lantern, and how the White Martian became a Green Lantern at the end of that. So that was kind of cool too. So I like this book. It was good. It was a solid read this time.
I think it's so interesting to see Tom. And again, his John is better now in this, at least from the first issue. But just to see some of his writing in Nightwing, or like the previous volume of John Kent, and now reading this, and how this is every issue kind of hits the mark, and it's so perfect. And then Nightwing, it's been a while since we found a perfect issue. Almost feels like a different writer, but it's perfect. He's able to play in his own sandcastle, in his own sandbox. My favorite scene, and I think this is rewarded to the artist, is the scene where Wonder Woman kind of breaks down and she's like realizes she's the queen now. I thought it was really well done. It's a great book. If you're not reading Dark Knights of Steel, it continues to just be wonderful.
Yeah, no, I agree. And like you mentioned, the him becoming the Green Lantern at the end, I didn't see that coming, and I thought that was really cool because it levels him up even more.
Yeah,
this character. And I like that they yes, they lost a lot throughout this manufactured war, but now they're coming together, these four queens, and it's going to be a battle to end this thing. So it's going to be fun.
Yep. Absolutely. So great book there. And then we move on to Daredevil issue 9. What do you think? I mean, Daredevil is basically, he's lost his freaking marbles at this point, and everyone realizes it, and they're all abandoning him, and now the Avengers are going after him. And it was interesting book, and obviously this one's going to wrap up soon, so I'm definitely on board. What did you guys think of the issue? Did you like it? Artwork was different, though.
I'm just kind of done with the book. I feel like I've seen this before from him. I don't really know what direction this book's going, especially because it's ending soon. I said it last time. I just don't think we needed this volume for Daredevil.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like this was kind of continued on because of the whole stuff with Punisher and everything, and then how they're so closely connected. But now Punisher's ending, Daredevil's ending, and it's like, I don't know how I felt about it. It's fine. It's a fine read, but it's not doing for me what the last volume did. And I'm not as excited for it. And like you said, Kat, we've seen Daredevil go kind of down this path before, and now he's got everybody coming at him. And it's like, where do you go with that? Like, what is the end game with Matt? Where does he go after this? And I can't see it. And it's like, I don't know. I just want something different. I want him to, I don't know what I want from him, but this is not going the direction I thought it would. So
are you going to finish the run? I mean, because
sure.
Yeah.
At this point, sure.
I mean, because also you're invested from the previous runs. I feel like just dropping now, unless if the run was going to be another year, I would have dropped it. But it's just going to be a couple more months, so I don't think I'll drop it. But I definitely think if I knew he wasn't ending the run, I think I would have dropped it. Like if I knew it was continuing, maybe. I don't know if I would have been on my pull list.
Hopefully it'll end strong at least.
Yeah.
I'll be curious to see how it does end.
Right.
Like, does he realize that he's wrong? Does it end with a battle with the Punisher? Like, what really happens, Yeah. And how does it set up the next volume for the character? Who's going to take it over? So, I mean, there's a lot of questions to be answered. Just don't know how it's going to be. But I understand the fatigue. Like, I get it, because it was weird how they just decided to start over with a new volume. And then all of a sudden it's like, well, now we're ending because I'm writing Batman, basically,
Yeah.
They should have just continued it. They had the same exact team, just a new story arc, and be done with it, So,
yeah.
But, all right. So that's Daredevil. Let's talk about Ice Machine.
It's my sink, I think. That's why I kept muting myself. I'm like, I don't know why it's doing that.
Then we got Indigo Children issue 1. I like this issue a lot. I thought it was really cool. Kind of not knowing what was happening in the beginning with this plane exploding and this kid that was lost and this reporter trying to find the kid. And I kind of liked, this reporter having all his like ins and outs, meeting up with the guy. I guess it was the guy that took care of someone that he killed because he was trying to get killed himself, and trying to get into the secret, I guess, base or Russian base or whatever where this kid was at. And I really liked it. And then you find out at the end of the book, like, why this kid is so important to begin with. So I thought this book was a surprise for me. I actually wasn't going to pick this book up. And then I was like, well, you know what? Why not pick it up? We'll see what it's about. And I really enjoyed it.
I could not get into this one. I wanted to like it. I like the art a lot. I just thought the jumping from different timelines didn't really do it for me. And I just didn't feel anything for it. Like there was no connection for me. Yeah, it just wasn't enough of a pull for an issue 2.
I actually didn't love the art.
Oh, there we go. They're all in different maps. I'm so surprised. I like the art. Brenton
the art for me was a turnoff also. I was not going to pick this up. One, I didn't like the cover art because that was one of the reasons why it wasn't attractive cover art. And the artwork itself wasn't the best artwork either. But
I think the coloring worked. But the pencils are a little boring. But
the draw that got me was I was actually at the shop flipping through this book is when the plane blew up. And then I was like, that's interesting. I want to see what happened there, Gotcha. And so I was like, well, let me check it out based off of that. And then I found myself getting involved with this investigation with the boy, with this reporter, like, and how infatuated he was with the boy and trying to find him and going through all these, hoops to get to where he needed to get to. And I liked that. So where it goes from here, I have no idea, but I did like that first issue. I'll give it a second try.
Gotcha. I was kind of in the middle with this one. I liked it at the beginning as it got started, and we learned that there's something about the kid. But as it got into the meat of it and the investigation and stuff, I got a little bored, and I had to struggle to get through that part to get to the end part. And so I don't think it was enough for me to pull me back for another one. So,
gotcha.
We also have Cosmic Toby who says Super Mario Wednesday release. I am seeing it tomorrow. I'm
not.
I saw those Rotten Tomatoes. Did you see those Rotten Tomatoes scores?
No.
It's getting some reviews. It's it just released a Rotten Tomatoes score, and usually it goes lower when the weekend goes on. 44%. And most people said, wow, they really just wanted to make this a glorified commercial. And I was like, oh no. I hope I enjoy it. I'm still looking.
It's Mario. I'm going to enjoy it.
It's not going to do bad. I don't know what they're
on the box office.
I don't know what they're expecting. Come on. It's a kid's movie. It's going to be, people are going to want to see it because they played Mario. Kids are going to want to see it because it is Mario. It's going to do huge at the box office. Rotten Tomatoes is not going to have any effect on this movie whatsoever if people are going to see it or not.
No, definitely not money-wise. Because, look at Sonic. It's going to do fine money-wise. I'm just curious if I'm going to like it. If it's going to be, for an adult audience. Because Sonic, I remember walking out saying, oh, this is, not completely for me. But I thought it was a fun movie, even though I could say it's a bad movie. I don't think Sonic is a good movie, but it's kind of a fun movie. It's this middle ground. So I'm curious if Super Mario Brothers is going to be total trash, or is it what they're going for on that one?
I've really enjoyed the first Sonic. I haven't seen the second one.
I'm right there with you. The first Sonic, I loved. The second one, not so much. I didn't really like the second one at all.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Kenneth says, I don't pay attention to Rotten Tomatoes. I just go into a film with an open mind and hope it's good. I always go into that Rotten Tomatoes. Not that I'll always judge it from there, but that's how I convince my friends to go see movies. I wouldn't have seen Creed 3 if it didn't have a 95% Rotten Tomatoes. I'm like, let's go see Creed 3. And they're like, all right, what's the Rotten Tomatoes score? And I'm like, 95%. I'm like, all right, let's go see it.
I've gone to so many movies by myself. I just don't care. If I want to go see something, I'll go see it.
I will say that, but it's nice to at least try to convince them. I want to to go see Air, which is a new sneaker movie, and I already got no's across the board on that one. So
I mean, it's like these days if I go to a movie, it's either by myself with Lisa or with Lisa and her brother. So and if it's a geek movie, we're all three going. It just doesn't matter. So we'll go see this for sure.
We saw Black Adam. We saw Shazam. I did not like Shazam very much. We'll go see all those superhero movies for sure. Because like that, no matter what. And especially I feel like you do make your own opinions with that one. Trying to think if there was a recent one that got rotten. Honestly, I thought Shazam, I remember when it came out, I thought it was too high. I was like, it should be lower. That's our movie talk. Right. Actually, we'll have a lot more movie talk later, but
okay, so that was Indigo Children, right? So now we're on to number 4. Kat, what was your number 4?
My number 4, I believe, was Power Rangers, but let me see. Yeah, it was Power Rangers TMNT issue 4. It's just a fun book. I love just the different fandoms that they're kind of colliding here. They do a crossover, right? Like I love the scenes with them just trying to figure out how to be mutants. I like the character work here. It's just a fun book. If you're looking for a book that is smart but also doesn't take itself too seriously, this is definitely the one for you. I just think it balances everything so well.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think this was a really fun issue as well. And just seeing, like, at this point, the Power Rangers have become mutants and the Turtles have once again become Power Rangers, and they're in different places. And it's cool seeing them navigate that. And you got the Turtles working with Shredder, and you got, Casey Jones is an evil Power Rangers, but not really. Just a lot going on, but it doesn't feel like a lot going on. It's just fun. It's full of action. It's full of witty dialogue. It's just it's a really good book.
Huh. Here's a interesting question. Cosmic Toby goes, so what happened to all your friends from the videos 3 years ago or more? So it's one of those things where things change over the years, right? I mean, we've told this audience before, we have been doing this show for over a decade. It's just been different iterations of the show. And some people get to the point where they don't want to do it anymore. They're not committed, or it's just they have other things going on in their life that they can't do it. So certain things have changed, and us three love doing the show. We've always loved doing the show, and we definitely don't want to give that up. So we're continuing to do the show as long as we possibly can.
Yeah, and again, obviously, like it just was more that I would say their relationship with comics is just different. Like I think for us, once that time came, I think for us we were more ingrained in the weekly comics. So, and obviously, you have to be very ingrained with the news and the weekly comics to put on a show like this.
Yeah. So we're mostly all good.
Yeah, for the most part, we're all good.
Yeah.
But thank you for the question. We've been saying, we've been doing this for a long time. So let's get into Caesar Knight, who says, are you guys buying all the new titles under Dawn of DC? I noticed Nightwing and a few other joined, but it was really advertised. Oh yeah. I don't know about all of them, but I'm going to try a lot of them, I think.
I mean, I'm getting some of them. I mean, we're still getting Lazarus Planet stuff. That's under Dawn.
That I dropped.
And I'm not buying any of those, right? So
I actually read the one that came out this week, the Revenge of the Gods, because it continued from all this Shazam and Wonder Woman stuff. But other than that, I don't know. I don't remember what all the titles are, but I know I'm getting like Green Lantern and Green Arrow and stuff like that. So
I'm going to take this one as a compliment because I never get that comment. That's why you guys look so old. Like I most people think I look 13. So thank you for the compliment.
Until recently, everybody always thought I looked younger than I did, but I think my age is starting to show. So
I just did my my 10-year anniversary on Comic Book Corner 2.0. And someone made a comment going, man, 10 years ago, you look like a little kid. Oh, geez. That was funny. All right. So where are we at now?
I did my
Kat did her
number
number 4,
four.
yeah.
Oh, okay. So what was yours, Brent?
Local Man, number 2. I again, this is like my except my
You're
top
having
3
a
were the
week.
solid. Yeah, no, my top 3 were my solid books, and the rest were just like middle ground. But Local Man was fine. I'm enjoying the book. I don't think I loved issue 1 as much as you two did. This one gave me a little bit more, but I'm still kind of in the middle of the road with it. But I did enjoy like the fact that the aspect of this book that I like is that he used to be this big hotshot superhero, and now everybody hates him. And I like that fighting from underneath and trying to get his life back kind of thing.
Right.
And now he's put on a mask and he's like, okay, I can't live like this, so I'm gonna do something. So
yeah, he puts on a mask and hides himself, and
yeah,
being patrolled by that stupid robot, and
yeah,
then I like how they do the backup story where they make it like it's a separate comic book
yeah.
about his days with the team called Third Gen or something like that. I
Third
think
gen or fourth gen or something.
yeah,
I think it
something
was
like
third
that.
gen.
Yeah. I like how they do that. I think that is so awesome. Even though it's only a couple of pages or whatever it is, it just gives you a different feel for the story. So I like that.
I love this book. I love Tim Seeley's writing. I really like the art, and I love how things progress really fast, but they take their time in certain scenes. I think a really good example of that is the mom of the arch nemesis and our main character and their conversation. I thought was
That was a
really
good
well
scene.
done. Yeah, I just think it's an expertly done book. It just I feel for this character. It's only 2 issues so far. I'm into the mystery because there's a lot of mystery. There's the mystery of what he did. Obviously, there's a mystery of who killed this guy, and everything feels very natural. I have not felt like a pacing for this book has happened in a long time. Maybe since I do a Powerbomb, probably his pacing was a little bit better, but
Yeah.
I feel like it's so well paced. This book, I'm really enjoying it.
And then the relationship between Crossjack and the bad guy, like they seem to have this relationship with each other, because when you read the 90s part of it and they had this battle with each other, it looked like, again, it was like all staged for the cameras and everything.
Right.
And then it was like they took him on the helicopter, he got all the glory, and then the bad guy was just left behind, and he was just like, hey, like what about me?
Yeah.
And it's just like those guys had a relationship with each other somehow. So because they were like from the same town and stuff. So it's very interesting. I'm curious to see where all this goes.
It feels like ultimately we're going to learn that the super team is like a bunch of jerks.
Yeah.
And not so great people. And he's the good one.
Right.
So we'll see.
Yeah, definitely. Let me see. All right. My number 4 was Mr. Jeff the Land Shark.
I thought that was your
No,
number
local
5.
man. I'm
I was
sorry.
about to say, I thought that was your number 5.
Actually,
It's just
every
gonna be
single
everything.
number.
Everyone
Yeah.
is Jeff the Land Shark. I'm sorry. It was local man. I thought I put it off to the side, and I couldn't. I didn't put it.
That's so funny.
So yes, it is local man. That's what it was. So that was my same number 4. Okay. So now we can move on. Let's talk about the book that Kat already dropped. And we have Action Comics issue 1053,
No regrets.
53, right?
53,
That's where we're on with this. So listen, just like last time, I enjoy the main story, and I actually enjoy the John story. But I could care less about the Power Girl story. I don't even read that story. But the main story was actually pretty interesting. There were some good emotional beats in that book between John and the new super twins. I thought that was pretty cool because John wanted to spend actual time with his dad. And his dad was like, yeah, we could do that, but we could show the twins too. And John got a little bit upset. And then the twins came up to John, or one of the twins came up to John and goes, you don't hate us, do you? Because he realized that, they realized that, that's his son. And it's just like his time is being taken away from John, and they already lost a lot of time with each other. And by the time you get to the end of the story, one of the twins is doing something very, very wrong. And then you get the other story with the Doombreaker character coming back as well, and I like that. So, but the main story is where it's at for me because I also like the Metallo parts too.
I like both of those stories. The Power Girl one, thankfully, I think is over because there's a special coming up to wrap it up next week, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I think we're finally done with that. It was just a weird story, and it is what it is. But the flashback story to when John was a kid, it's a fun story. But I agree that main story is still solid for me, and like you said, John's kind of jealousy of the kids because they're getting that time that he missed when he was gone. I think that's a strong story, and I like that it kind of loosely tied into what's going on in the other Superman book. They kind of referenced that where he talked to Lex and stuff. So yeah, it's solid. It's not as good as the other book, but it's a solid read.
I agree, and it's not overpriced like the Batman anthology. This is actually what, $4.99. So I don't think it's a bad price where it was like the other Batman. What is it? Batman Incorporated? Is that what it is? What is it?
I think it's.
I don't know. I
totally forgot.
I don't think it's Batman Incorporated.
No, that's the one with Ghostmaker. What's the other Batman anthology? The other anthology book they charged $8.
Urban Legends.
Urban Legends, yeah. $8 for that book. This is $4.99. So this I can deal with. Like for $4.99, right, and not read the Power Girl story, that's okay. Because the main story is actually like a real story, right? It has the right amount of pages in it, and then you just get these added stories for $1 more. So looking forward to seeing how it continues.
We do have a question from Kaio. The Daily Show starts at 11 on the East Coast. Do you notice your audience drop? Honestly, at 11, we usually pick up audience members, but I also think the Daily Show is a very different show than ours, unless there's a comic Daily Show that we don't know about. But no, are you talking about the political show or
some other YouTube?
Or is there like another one?
Yeah, and let me answer this one real quick. Does the Power Girl stuff have to do with Lazarus Planet? Yes and no. It is the abilities that she gained during Lazarus Planet, this psychic stuff, but that's where it ends. It's just become its own little thing.
Thank you for the 53 people watching.
Yeah, guys, thank you. And we will get to, we have not talked about the Spider-Boy stuff or the Spider-Verse stuff or the new stuff yet. We're doing our comics first, and then we will be talking about that stuff.
Yeah.
So for right now, we talked about Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. We talked about Avengers Beyond. So we're going to go on to our number 3 comic of the week, and I'll kick that one off with Kat. What is yours, Kat?
Mine is It's Jeff.
Yes. So is mine. No, I'm just kidding. My number 3, I'll tell you now, is Dark Knights of Steel. What about you, Brent?
Mine is Power Rangers TMNT.
Okay, cool. All right. Let's move on to Strange Academy Finals, issue 5, the penultimate issue. Yeah. And I'm telling you, Kat, man, you have really missed out on a really solid
such a good
series.
book.
It really is.
Got to get that magic away from me.
It's all about the characters, though.
For a person that likes a coming of age books, this would be right up your wheelhouse. It really is. Every character has shown growth in the comic book in some way, shape, or form, right? And it's not really necessarily about magic in this comic book.
Maybe one of the Patreon members, if they want me to read a certain issue.
There you go.
For Patreon.
Yep. But this issue was really solid. I mean, we're getting to the point now where it's good versus evil, right? It's Emily has become pure evil. And now you got all the kids from Strange Academy teaming up, and they're about to do this huge battle before this whole thing wraps up. And they were having this ceremony celebrating the end of the freshman year and getting ready to go to the sophomore year, right? And then that's when everything gets interrupted and the whole battle happens. The writing by Scotty Young is awesome. The artwork by Humberto Ramos is probably the best artwork I've ever seen him do ever.
It
There's
is really
so
good,
much
yeah.
expression on the page. The characters are so unique. If this book was ever to come out with another volume, I don't want to see anybody else do the book. You know what I'm saying? Because they're so good at what they do for this series. So just a really, really good book.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And this is, even though it's not been a really long journey and a lot of issues, it feels like it's been this epic journey that we've been on. And I'm sad to see it closing out, but I love the way it's doing it.
Yeah.
And Emily has gone to Dormammu and brought him in the fold. Now Doyle's prophetic vision is coming to pass and everything. And we met his mom for the first time, which was cool. And yeah, it's just it's so good. Now you're finally seeing the two sides face off, and all this pent up stuff between them that is built up throughout this entire series is coming to a head. And it's such a good book. It's one of my favorite books on the stands.
Yeah. And then you saw Emily's mom at the end too.
Yeah.
So that is so cool, man. I just absolutely love this book. This is just something that I feel like this is an all ages book too. This is somebody that, a younger audience can read, an older audience can read, and they can appreciate it. Yeah, hopefully, maybe one day it comes back. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I feel like this is the way you build characters in a comic, right? You got
Yeah.
introduced to all these characters. And again, they've been organically growing, and you've gotten to see the changes with them. And now, after this is all done, it's just like, okay, well, where do they go from here?
Man, I really hope they go somewhere. And it's interesting because there's so many characters in it, but every single one of them has had a little arc, and we've learned a
Yeah.
little bit about their history, and you've gotten to know each one of them, and they all have distinct personalities and distinct backgrounds, and it doesn't feel like you're throwing a bunch of information. Like you said, it feels very organic.
Mm-hmm.
And I love these characters, and I really hope we continue to see them.
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. All right. So let's move on to our number 2. Kat, what was yours?
You're muted, Kat.
Mine was Dark Knights of Steel.
Mine
That sync was going crazy. I was saving you guys.
All right. So then my number 2 was actually Indigo Children.
Okay.
Yep. All right. So a book like Indigo Children, I feel like you had to be in the right frame of mind. If you were like rushing through your comics, or you read a whole bunch of comics, I don't think you could enjoy it. I, for one, was like, happened to be outside in my patio, and it was a beautiful morning. It was like crisp and cool. The dog was outside. There was no one making any noise. And I was just sitting there, just enjoying and reading the comic without any interruptions. Trust me, there's times where that does not happen all that often, where I was distracted. You know what I'm saying? So I got to really get immersed into that story. So that's why I really enjoyed it that much. All right. So let's see. So we have to talk about Thor. Yes, I think that's the last one before our number 1.
There's not much to talk about.
Oh, man. This book is in such a poor direction, I feel, right now. Without Donny Cates on it, it's just not the same. Nick Klein
There isn't a direction.
He wasn't even on the artwork in this issue. I mean, I couldn't even tell you what the story was about, basically. Doom captured Hela. He wants some kind of power. They're chasing a freaking dragon. You got Thor's sister is like 16 years into the future, resurrects what's his name from the Black Order, trying to get this black stone. It's just there's so much going on, and I feel like it's trying so hard to have something, but nothing is going on at the same time, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I don't understand why Dr. Doom's in this book when hasn't been a Fantastic Four book in a very long time. It's just not, I don't know. I don't want to drop it because it's store, but it's getting there now. It's
Yeah,
getting to
it's
a point where I
getting
think I might have to drop this book.
it's getting there.
I already did. I didn't
Honestly,
get
you're
last
not
issue
missing.
or this one.
You're not missing much. I think I might drop it next issue until it gets to a new arc because I'm just kind of reading at habit at this point.
I know. It's just, God, it's so frustrating, man. I've invested so much into that comic, and it's like such a shame. Such a shame. All right. So that brings us to our number one comic book of the week. Let me read this comment. It says, sucks because the tease for this story arc when Thanos had the Black Infinity Gem and had a zombie army was so rad. I was hyped. The hype is gone now. I agree 100%.
Yep.
When we were teased with that, I was like, oh my God, this is going to lead into something freaking fantastic. And it's gone now. It's like they still talk about that stone. Like it's still being talked about. It was discussed in this issue. So is it going to get to that point or not? Like, I don't know, man. I don't know.
They're just stalling at this point, which is a shame. Just like let someone else write it. Like I know that Torn, who is a good writer, wrote a lot of the Valkyrie stuff. Like she's currently writing it, and I just wish they would allow her to do more with the series. But I literally think they're just stalling at this point.
Yeah, I don't know. So, all right. So our number one comic book of the week, Brent, for you was
Strange Academy.
Mine too.
Nice.
Definitely not Cats because she doesn't read it.
Mine was Local Man. I really do like this book.
Very cool.
Nice.
All right. So that is all the comics. We're going to talk about the most anticipated later. Is that what we're going to do? We're going to jump into the news now?
Yeah.
Yes.
After we plug our Kickstarters, if that's all right.
Cool. Go for the Kickstarters. I got to get some water real quick, guys.
All right. You can go ahead, Kat.
Okay, cool. Yeah, mine. Let me pull up the page, and I'm sure you'll see the background as it always happens, but we'll still pull it up. So I do have a Kickstarter going on right now. Actually, it didn't. That's great. It actually went to the page for once. But yeah, I do have a Kickstarter going on. It's about a high school girl. Father left her to become a full-time superhero. Everyone in the world loves him except for her, and then she inherits his abilities. Later on in the series, we find out that her mom is actually an evil spy, KGB agent, and now everything's coming to a head in its grand finale. If you like superhero comics, I think you're going to really enjoy this one. I'm very happy with how this campaign's going. We already funded, and we actually had usually campaigns for Kickstarters are 30 days. We did a 25-day campaign because we do a lot of Kickstarters and we need to fit everything on our calendar. So it's only been like 10 days. We're almost to $9,000 with 15 days left. This has been a splendid campaign. So jump on. We have also plenty of other superhero books we're giving away for the indie bundle. So if you support this at as low as $1, you're getting so many comics from people like Jason Inman. There's a book coming out tomorrow, American Dreams on comic book stands. You get that for free. So go check it out.
Nice. All right. And mine is let me see if I can share it here. Mine is a cyberpunk action thriller called In the Land of the Dragon. It is about a mercenary who is tasked with kidnapping a baby that has these powers that could shift the balance of power between these two warring corporations. And he grows a conscience and decides he needs to protect the baby. So now both corporations are after him and bounty hunters. And there's this huge bounty on his head and everything. And it's tons of action, tons of cool covers. And I'm actually drawing a cover for the first time ever. So I'm drawing it. Lisa is inking and coloring it. And we're playing a game right now on the Kickstarter. So if you want to see my art, come check it out. Come back to Kickstarter, and eventually I'll reveal what that cover is and what property it's an homage to, which is kind of cool. Secret. So there you go. In the Land of the Dragon, lastnumberpress.com/dragon will take you right there.
Very cool.
We do have a couple of comments here, and then we'll talk about the Patreon. We do have a super chat. I'll get that in a second. I just wanted to keep it with the Kickstarter questions first. Cosmic Tommy says, not normal that your books don't have a barcode. So since we don't sell the book in comic book stores, it doesn't need to have a barcode. So that's the reason why that's not there. And then Tevye says, which this is about like Folly Daughter, which raises questions. Did her mom love her husband and her daughter, or just uses them for herself? That is a big part of what is explored in this issue. So if you guys have questions about that, definitely go check it out. And the super chat from Supreme Omega. Thank you so much for the
Yeah,
$5 super chat. Robin, should DC just retire Tim at this point? Why not let him live a normal life before his dad was killed? He didn't plan on being a hero forever. Tim's a fan favorite, so I think that's why they won't retire him.
Yeah, Tim is my all-time favorite Robin. I hope they don't.
As long as people read them,
same.
they're not going to retire them.
Yeah.
Right?
I agree. Now, let's talk about the Patreon one more time. So we do have a Patreon. This helps our podcast tremendously. We have some awesome content on here as well. We have one video that has all three of us talking and chit-chatting. We have all our pull lists on there. Content. Yeah, all types of content. If you want to hear how I review comics, that's on there. If you want to hear how Mike got started reading comics and what type of comics you pick up, go check that out. We have a lot of topics. And again, you guys can recommend topics too. If you really want me to read Strange Academy, maybe I'll read an issue or two for our patrons. So please, it really does help us support us in the podcast.
Absolutely.
So let's get into the news. Actually, let me also give a link for that Patreon. So if you guys do want to check it out, we will have that link here. It's pretty easy. It's just Comic Book Weekly on Patreon. Yep. All right, let's start with the news. We are going to start with the media news. Should we? Hold on, let me think. No, let's start with the comic news, and then we'll go to the media news. But first, we'll talk about the Spider-Boy news, because that is the topic here. So Spider-Boy is the new character that Dan Slott has been teasing. And yeah, I'm going to get Spider-Man issue 7 tomorrow, just because it's this new character. But also, supposedly, it's a character we already know. So interesting, I guess. Like, I look, it's getting us to pick up the book, right? I don't know if it'll be good or bad. Will this be an alpha situation? I don't know. Is it just because, like, a character, it even looks like Miles Morales from the costume? It's just like, are they just trying to recreate the Miles Morales craze? I don't really know what they're trying to do, but I'll give it a shot.
Yeah. Is it Miles Morales from like a different universe?
Oh man, I hope not.
Is it like it? Oh my! Like go back to that image. Like so, go back to the image again, and let's.
It looks a lot like him with the sneakers.
There's a lot of different things, right? Like I guess there's stuff on the wall. Like what's it? So the graffiti, it says like TWIP, right? It says all TWIPs on there.
Wasn't alpha supposed to suck? He did.
Oh my god!
Some people think it might be alpha.
If it's,
I wouldn't be surprised because it is a Dan Slott book.
God, that would be crazy.
I would drop it again.
Otley is written on there. And the graffiti, Ramos. Love.
This is probably just Easter eggs.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know if it's any hints. I don't know what it's. They said it's a character that we actually know.
No, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Huh. So he's small, but that could be just the artwork, though, too. I mean, but he is a boy, so I don't know what it could be.
It really could be alpha, which would be.
Wasn't there?
Dan Slott. I'm telling you,
he created him.
Yeah,
wasn't there a cool like kid character in one of the Spider-Verse books that you and I liked, Mike, a while back? I don't even remember now, but.
There could have.
I can't remember.
I don't know. Do you have the images with the sketch drawing?
Oh yeah. Let me
so we can take a look at his suit. I mean, he's got some heavy duty sneakers there. Like, how does he stick to the wall with his feet when he's wearing sneakers? I never understood that.
I guess some people's powers are stronger than others. I remember in the Spider-Girl comics, which I really liked, that she took her shoes off anytime she climbed the walls because it's just like, oh, I can't really stick on the walls very well. It would be wouldn't it be funny if it was Robbie's son? We are going to talk about the marriage thing soon, which we'll probably talk about Robbie's son there.
I don't know if I can find it.
Micah actually said, I cheated and checked it out tonight at my local
Oh, man. No spoilers.
No spoilers at all. Every good hero needs a good sidekick.
No, we didn't. We learned from Spider-Man. He doesn't need a sidekick. Who made his costume? I think it was Ramos.
Yeah, I think it was Ramos.
Infinity Flux Comics. They
There we
spoiled it, but I forgot his name.
Yeah, no
No
spoilers.
spoilers here.
There we
I
go.
gotta pick up this comic and hopefully feel okay that I picked it up.
So look at his look at his back there. Like it's some kind of like, I wonder if it's like a Iron Spider thing. Like you think the big long spider
It's actually
legs
Kamala Khan.
come out of
It's
it?
Miss Marvel.
Sorry.
But the spider looks like something like a Spider-Man 2099. Maybe it's Spider-Boy 2099.
That could be interesting for somebody.
Not for Cat though.
Not for me. I would drop it again if it's Spider-Man 2099 related.
Spider-Boy
Let it go.
2099. I'm calling it. That's my idea.
I really think it's Alpha. I really think
You
it is.
think it's Alpha? You think they would really go there with that?
I think Dan Slott would, yeah. I think so. And what other like teenage characters exist right now in Spider-Man's
I wouldn't
mythos
call
besides
Alpha
Miles?
existing. I mean, everyone hated him.
They do, but maybe he's looking to redeem him.
Let me read a quote from Dan Slott in this article that I found.
I'm ready.
I can't wait for people to meet Bailey and the unique role he's going to play in both Spider-Man's world and the Marvel Universe.
Oh, okay. So it's someone named Bailey. So I guess how is this someone we know?
I don't know, unless that's like a code word. I don't know.
So real quick, I mean, think about it, guys. How long ago was Alpha? Was that like before issue 800 of Spider-Man, right?
Before 700, I think.
Before 700, or it was around there. It was when Dan Slott was writing the title.
Alpha Spider-Man first appearance.
There's another article I just found said it is not a multiversal variant from the Spider-Verse.
Okay. Also, it's Amazing Spider-Man issue 692 was his first appearance.
Alpha?
Yeah, which is crazy.
So,
I don't know.
A lot of people, maybe a younger audience here, just people that haven't read the series as long.
2012.
Don't know who Alpha is. And Alpha was a character created by Dan Slott where Spider-Man would mentor him. And
he had like a lot of powers. He had
he was very strong, but he had like mental issues. And I think they depowered him. I think that's what happened, right?
Couldn't pay me to remember.
Well, this also says he has been here all along and starred in some of the greatest stories in Spider-Man history.
Well, we know then it's not Alpha if he starred in some of the best.
But the character's name is Bailey?
Yeah. He's got strange new spider powers, secret ties to dark corners of Spider-Man lore, and a story that's all his own.
It must be like this character we're seeing, the new villain, where it's like, yeah, he had this one issue like 50 years ago, and now he's back. Because I really can't think of anybody that Mr. Negative. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure.
I don't either.
Better not be Mr. Negative. Hate that guy.
I mean, that's someone that Dan Slott loved to use.
I
guess we'll wait and see. But these are our bad predictions. Oh, this could be interesting. Maybe Silk's brother. I saw the name Silk, and it just reminded me. Silk's brother could be interesting. I don't know if he would have powers, but that would be cool. We got a super chat. Thank you so much by Lee Smith, $2. You think Spider-Boy will be the next big one? No. I really don't. I think they really just needed this book to sell.
True. I mean, you never know, though. But, like, this is you can see that people, though, for some reason, it's creating some buzz. You know what I'm saying? And for some reason, we've gotten a ton of other Spider characters that haven't gotten nearly as much buzz. But it's just like, that cover stands out. It pops, and it's created some mystery behind the character, and that's kind of how you introduce a character. It's kind of like it has like that Spider-Gwen effect. When you first saw Spider-Gwen, you were like, holy shit, who's Spider-Gwen? And I know we've had a ton of characters here, and we got to see how Dan Slott writes this character, if it's a likable character that people will come back and want to. I mean, I think the character's concept looks pretty neat. He's wearing fucking Jordans, and he looks ultra modern. So I don't know, we'll see. But I'm excited for the issue. At least it gives some buzz to a series that's been, a little bit on the crappy side, and it's going to get people to pick up the issue once again. So I give him credit for that.
Look, I dropped it, and now I'm getting this issue. So
exactly, that says it all, right?
So let's get into our other Spider-Man news here, which is that Spider-Man's going to have a wedding happening, and Tombstone's returning in this issue. So I think it's pretty obvious that it's going to be what's his face,
Robbie,
and
Beetle.
Beetle.
Yeah.
So I think that's pretty obvious. They've already built it up. They were engaged, so cool, I guess. But I also don't care that much. So another maybe slightly uninteresting thing that will happen in Spider-Man, but that's I think writing on the wall.
I'm glad that they're actually picking up that thread, or I guess it's Robbie's son, Randy, right?
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, Randy. Yeah, yes, correct.
Yeah, so I mean that's obviously, especially if Tombstone's going to be in there, it makes sense. So, but I'm glad they picked up that thread and didn't just let it die, though. At least, so that's
and that's been going on since
Beetle and Tombstone are not getting married. That's her dad. Why can't Beetle and Tombstone get married? Well, let's hope that's not happening.
No.
It's Beetle and
Randy Roberts.
Randy. So Robbie's
son.
Robbie's son. So
right, and the Beetle is Tombstone's daughter.
Right.
So that's
so that'd be a little weird.
Micah says, Mike, you give these books too many chances. I dropped Amazing Spider-Man after 5 issues from the relaunch. Micah, you're telling the person, Mike Spider Slayer, right, to drop Amazing Spider-Man. I have read Amazing Spider-Man since I was 15 years old, like nonstop, since like issue 313. Like I've collected every issue since. Either it's good or bad. It's just I'm a fan of the character. I'm never going to drop it. That's just how it is. Spider-Man's my favorite character, period. And comics have changed over the years. Yes, I agree. But holy cow, I have boxes and boxes of Spider-Man. I will never, ever drop the book, ever, no matter how bad it is. He's like, okay, my bad.
He's like, my bad, man.
He's like,
I'm backing off.
He's like, don't display me, man. That's one thing you can't. Other books you could give me shit on for sure any day of the week. Like
highlight his next comic, Kat.
Oh, here we go.
That he might do.
I'm already there.
So I said it on my most anticipated video. Like, I'm going to try I think one more issue. I've said it, but it looked like we were finally getting to a place of some type of story. But if this story does not happen in this issue, I think I'm going to drop it this time.
Only took half a year.
Yeah.
I didn't like when they went to go they took their shit in the toilet. That's kind of when I was like, okay, I'm good.
I'm afraid there's going to be like a zombie apocalypse happening. I think that's what's going to happen.
I'll get the next issue. If I hate it, I'm done.
I think so too.
That's how I feel, yeah.
Let's get
Marvel thanks guys like you, Mike.
No, for sure. It's why I think Spider-Man's still a good seller. All right, let's get into some more stuff here. So Blade is returning. I thought this was interesting because it's the artist who does Black Widow, did Black Widow. So I'm like, yeah, no matter what, I'm picking this up because the art's gonna be amazing.
You want to hear something funny?
So
when I was marking the news off, I kept seeing this and I was like, what the heck is this? Why are they? And I just didn't understand. It was spelled wrong on the doc. No, I mean, it's funny because it was spelled Balde. And I was like, who the heck is Bald? And why are they excited about Baldy returning?
Oh, no.
So I was like, I'm not marking that. What are we talking about?
Look, Bald's the newest, greatest character for Marvel. He's actually Spider-Boy's identity.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, gotcha. Baldy
he's a
Bailey.
great one. Yeah, and Baldy Bailey. Spider-Man's getting canceled
so
for
funny.
it.
Yeah, so funny. Anyway, I still don't care about Blade though. So
I don't
go
know.
on.
I mean,
I gotta get it for this art. I gotta at least get the
Gotcha.
first issue for the art.
is it because of the miniseries? You think that's why it's coming out?
I know because of the movie. It has a
Yeah.
movie coming out, so that's
Yeah.
definitely
When's the
why
movie
this book
coming out,
exists.
though?
Not anytime soon.
Yeah, so
No.
why is it
Blade-
coming out now? Who gives a shit? That
Because
doesn't.
they want to collect it, and collecting in Marvel takes a little while. So they're like, oh, we need to get ready so we could collect this later. So when the movie comes out, we could sell them this collection.
I don't know. I love the concept of Blade, right? And I love the movies, but every time I read the comics, it's just not interesting to me for some reason.
Yeah. Same. That's my problem with it.
I like the daughter. I think she's cool enough. But yeah, no, I don't think I've ever read a Blade comic where I'm like, yeah, let me
I never
read more
read
Blade.
I never read the daughter stuff either. So
That's solid. I won't say I'm definitely not telling either you guys to rush to the comic book
Mhm.
store for it. I think it's just a fun little book
Yeah.
that exists.
yeah. And I also didn't realize that this had Casa Grande doing the art. So it is gonna be gorgeous at least.
That's why I'm like, just for the art. Like if it wasn't for her being on it, I don't think I'd pick it up. But
I mean,
Yeah.
I might try it just because I do my Worthy Ones video every week. So
Yeah.
it gives me a reason to try it. That's the good thing about doing those videos, to picking up those number ones to try a series. So
Right.
Serenity says the film's supposed to start filming in September, so it hasn't even started filming yet.
Wow. So yeah, it's
well,
gonna be a
it'll
while.
probably be delayed on top of it.
Yeah.
too, the way these Marvel
For
movies-
sure.
Everything else is.
All right, let's get into the next thing here. So there's just so much news that came out this week. There's so many like big things, and then next week we'll be like, okay, what's
We'll
coming
have
out? We'll have
Yeah.
nothing to talk about. But all right, Jonathan Hickman has a new cosmic title coming out. This is like his baby. This is the one they've been teasing, and it's called Gods.
An
Yeah,
acronym
that's-
for gods. Yeah.
Yeah, and, yeah, with all the dots in the middle, all the periods in the middle.
Yeah.
I am not gonna get this. I don't think so. I don't like cosmic stories from Marvel. I tend not to like Jonathan Hickman's writing. I think the writing's on the wall that I shouldn't try it. Now, I will say if it's like a light weekend, I need to get a big book, I'll get it. But as of right now, I'm good.
I think Strange was. I watched the trailer of this.
Did you?
I did, because I was like, I just happened to see it before even it was on the dock, right? And I was like, God, it's Jonathan Hickman. I'm like, he's doing something else also. So I clicked on it, and there's a trailer of it, and I think Doctor Strange is in it on top of it, if I remember correctly. But it did seem interesting. I mean, I am going to check it out. I mean, listen, Jonathan Hickman's not for everybody, but I can give him credit, though. He does put together some interesting stuff. I mean, we had, Fantastic Four run. You had the Battle World stuff. You had the X-Men stuff. Like, he's done some unique stuff that is interesting storytelling. Again, it's not for everybody, but he's a heavy hitter writer. And I think that's, Marvel needs that right now. I think he needs some writers that, can tell some unique stories.
I will give it to him that he has big ideas.
Yes.
It's the execution of those ideas that kind of leaves me cold more times than not, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not my thing.
Right.
But I do like the cosmic side of Marvel, and this one says that it involves eternity and infinity and all those. It depends on the week. If it's a lighter week, I'll try it out. But I'm kind of iffy on it. So
more data pages, yeah, for sure. You'll always get that. That's just in every single book he ever makes. Even when he did, like, was it East and West? I remember that book.
They had a lot of those maps.
Yeah, data pages in those too, man. And that book was made years ago.
I also saw a question about Spider-Boy, so let me look. And it was MC2 related. Is Spider-Boy from Marvel MC2 from the pages of Spider-Girl when they had a new Spider-Man than Peter Parker? I don't think he was called Spider-Boy. There was a character that didn't last that long that was Jessica Drew's son. but I don't think it's gonna be him because he does exist in the Marvel universe
But
and
they
he's a
just
child.
said that, yeah, he's different.
Yeah.
It's not from an alternate.
No,
Earth.
he's in the 616.
So
Yeah, so I don't think it would be him. All right, let's get into the next thing, which is a lot of Marvel news. So let's go through all the Marvel stuff. Well, you know what? Let's do the one DC news piece we had, which is actually pretty exciting news, which is Batman and Robin series has an ongoing, and the best and brightest news is that Joshua Williamson is writing it. So he's just continuing his series pretty much. So very, very excited about this one on my list. Yeah, can't wait.
Yeah.
so it's basically a Damian
continuation.
book with Batman in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's cool. I mean, there's not much to say, you know what I'm saying? I mean, we know what he can do, and with Batman attached to it, I think it could be even better. So I think it'll be good, man.
Yeah.
I agree. All right, let's get into the next thing here. That is Jason Aaron is ending his exclusive deal with Marvel, and he's gonna, probably write a mini series here and there. He'll probably write some one shots, but he said he's done with the ongoing books, which, is a shame because I think there's a lot of writers that have been leaving Marvel as of recently. I'm glad that Hickman came back because that was a big one for them, but that's gonna be huge when he does start leaving because Jason Aaron was a heavy hitter. And then again, Donny Cates is not writing as much for them anymore. I'm trying to think of like a big writer right now at Marvel. Who's a big writer at Marvel besides Hickman?
Dan Slott.
Dan Slott only writes Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And it's just like this little
Jed
side
McKay
thing.
is getting bigger. And
yeah, but I don't think his name sells books.
Not yet, but he'll get there.
Yeah,
which I agree. I love his writing, and I hope he gets there and he, writes an amazing run on something and becomes the next Donny Cates because he deserves it.
I mean, listen, Jason Aaron, that's great. I don't think, like you said, I don't think we're going to see the last of Jason Aaron. I think he will write again. I feel that he has the right to do what he wants to do. You know what I'm saying? So if he wants to write his independent stuff, go out there and go do it, But not all his stuff has been good. His Avengers stuff has been god awful. So and he's been doing Avengers for a very long time. And there's a lot of people out there that don't read that book that should read that book. And he writes some of the other Avengers books on top of it. And but with that being said, he
writes Punisher.
His Punisher book is absolutely
and
awesome.
Thor.
Thor was really good as well. But if he wants to do creator-owned stuff or write for DC, go for it, man. I mean, listen, it's like you should be able to do what you want to do. You shouldn't have to be tied down. And if Marvel lets him go, then that's their own deal. But there should be other talent out there that Marvel or DC should find. There's hopefully they can find it. It's sad when you lose those big writers, but hopefully they come back around.
I will say, at least for DC, they did lose James Tynion. That was huge, but they at least have Tom Taylor on exclusive. Joshua Williamson's still writing for them. Mark Wade's writing for them. So I think a year ago I was more scared for the heavy hitters at DC, but now I think they've kind of made up for it. Marvel, besides the Hickman announcement, really hasn't, and I guess Dan Slott, but he doesn't really do independent comics.
No. I mean, I think you have, when it comes to DC, when you have Joshua Williamson and you have Mark Wade, those are your like two big guys.
Tom Taylor's their huge guy. No matter what you think of his comics, he's
Tom Taylor is another one. But when it comes to Wade and Williamson, they can only do so much, though. And I felt like a lot has been put on their shoulders in the past couple years, especially Mark Wade Joshua Williamson, because he's been doing like their events and everything else. And so I think he's had a lot on his plate, and so hopefully they can keep bringing it. And same with Mark Wade. Like Mark Wade has been doing an awesome job, but I just feel like, when does it get to a point where it's just like, I don't know what to do, or I get burnt out because they're relying so heavily on me. Same with Tom Taylor. Like Tom Taylor has great books, but we all agree, where's Nightwing going right now? You know what I'm saying? And where did Superboy go? Like those two books is the books that I've seen. Nightwing started off real strong, and it's been kind of a stall. The John Kent book, that one ended so he could do this one, which I feel is a lot better, this new one. But I just feel like Tom Taylor stuff, I feel like it's starting to slip a little bit. And in my opinion, I don't think it's as strong as it once was.
For sure. I just think you need the bigger names no matter what you I think you should have the smaller names to grow too. Like I would love to see Jed McKay on a huge book, like promote these people, promote the people that you're trying to make these rising stars. Like Lena, the Casa Grande, the one from Black Widow. Why did it take a year for an Eisner Award winner to get a Blade book? It's just kind of crazy to see that there's so much wonderful talent that aren't like, they're probably like medium names now. Why aren't they not the Scott Snyders and the Joshua Williamsons and the James Tynions? Because we also need that to happen. We can't just rely on Mark Waid for decades.
Yeah. And I think like when it comes to, say Marvel with like the X-Men line, we have way too many books and just not enough, I guess, solid writers on X-Men. Like it's like you have Jerry Duggan that writes X-Men, right? And then you have Spider-Man who is like Zeb Wells, who wrote the what was that book? The last X book that he wrote. Oh my God, I can't remember.
Let's look it up. Zeb Wells comic book.
Oh God, I can't remember what it was called.
He wrote New Mutants and Hellions.
Hellions, that's what it was.
Yeah.
So I mean, listen, it's just like, yeah, you don't have those big names like you once had that are writing these top tier books, and hopefully we do get that. That star like Donny Cates was when he came onto the scene,
it's hard because
that's what you need.
Oh, sorry. Go on. I was just gonna say it's hard with Donny Cates because the reason he was a star is obviously Venom, but also because his indie books were doing really well. So you need and also same thing for James Tynion. Like the reason he was so popular is because Batman was doing well, but also he had something that's killing children. So in comics, I feel you got to be, and this is like the struggle in comics, and anyone who's in comics, will tell you is that the struggle is you need to do more than one thing. If you're just
versatile.
And that's why, like, honestly, I would love to see Dan Slott do some creator own stuff. I'd love to see him branch out because I think that's going to make him more of a superstar talent. It's like he's only really known for doing Spider-Man and some She-Hulk. He, I think, could become an even bigger name if he sold an IP as a TV show. Things like, I mean, and we'll talk about this later, but like, I'm so proud of Pat. Like that, he's a longtime friend. He got a TV show deal, and he's been rocking it. And that's what you want. That's how you make money in comics. And that's how you become a big name. And he's been able to make a name for himself by just doing his own thing. So it's just, I really think the way to make a name in the industry these days really is to make your own stuff. And that doesn't mean you don't do work for hire. It doesn't mean you don't do Marvel and DC, because that also is how you make a name, but you have to do both at the same time. And it's a really hard balance. And I think like the Jed McKays, like if Jed McKay did a big indie book, that might really help him rise to fame.
Yeah. I mean,
possible. Yeah.
When you look at Jason Aaron, I mean, that's why he probably wants to, do more creator owned stuff,
Sure.
And he did Once Upon a Time at the End of the World. He's writing that currently. And so that is a solid book, and go ahead.
I was going to say, I think a perfect path in comics is when you go to Marvel and DC, you do the Scott Snyder route, you do the James Tynion route, you make a name for yourself at Marvel and DC. And I'm not saying you should leave, or maybe you don't want to leave, but you do leave. And then you make your own stuff and you just take all the fans you had from Batman and Spider-Man, and then they just follow your stuff, because again, that's how you make money in comics, and that's how you like make a name for yourself. So I think always that's the route to go.
Micah mentioned Daniel Warren Johnson to come to Marvel. He did write that Beta Ray Bill story.
Yeah.
But is there a benefit to him? Because he has such a big name with just being him. Is there a benefit to him besides doing cover work for Marvel to do a series there?
Well, I think it would be, especially after writing Do a Power Bomb. He wrote the Beta Ray Bill story before Do a Power Bomb, and the Better Ray Bill story did well. And he's also done stuff for DC as well. So he has done both. And I think he has a unique style of art and writing. And so I think if he was to do something at Marvel, now that so many more people have read his stuff, I think people would gravitate to it.
But is it beneficial to him? I think it's a big question, because I think the big thing in comics is that we all believe going to Marvel and DC is the biggest thing you could do. But in the long run, it is cool as like a fan, but I don't know if 2023 that's the biggest thing you could do as a creator. And that's why I'm thinking of the Daniel Warren Johnsons. Like, it could be cool as a fan, but is that actually a great career move for him?
At the end of the day, it's going to be up to him. We'll never know. But if there is a passion project that he wants, he might want to do it. So if someone came to him and said, hey, do you want to do, say, Thor because you did Better Ray Bill? Is that a passion project for you? You know, he might say, yeah, I'll do something. You know, same like Jed McKay. Jed McKay might be like, man, I really want to do Spider-Man, but they haven't given me the opportunity. But the next best thing was Black Cat. And if they said, hey, do you want to write a Spider-Man comic? He might be like, yeah, okay, you know, but who knows? I guess it's just up to him at the end of the day, right? We can't read their minds, you know?
Yeah.
All right, moving on to more Marvel stuff. So Marvel teases a death of a friend. This is going to be a one-shot event. And some people think the fallen friend's going to be Bucky, which we already saw that happen. So that could happen, but you know, we've seen it before. And just the wording of fallen friend, it sounds like something that's more of a soldier aspect.
Could it be Falcon?
It could be Falcon as well. I don't think that's a smart move for them because of the movies. Like, you have him being this new Captain America, and they're like, actually, he's dead now.
I mean, yeah, that's true. But he could come back before the movie comes.
Yeah, it might bring more hype around it.
It's Paul.
It's coming out in July, which again also leads to like a patriotic character, right?
Yeah, for sure.
True, yeah.
I could see Bucky.
It's just like you said, we've seen that before. Do we really need to?
I could see Captain America, but they say friends.
We've seen that before too.
Yeah, because
We've seen
Captain
it all
died
before.
too. Yeah, they've all died.
Yeah.
They definitely have Peggy.
Again.
Again. Oh, man. We'll see what happens. But me and Brant are reading the Captain America series, so we'll keep you guys updated.
Yeah.
So let's get into some news that I really, really am excited for. Kitty Pryde is rejoining the X-Men. I'm excited, but not, because now I have to read the X-Men. But she is now Shadowcat with a K. And she kind of has a new look. It's definitely more ninja-esque. I was going to say kind of Sprite-esque because of the blue, but mostly
So she was Shadowcat before with a C?
Yeah, she was Shadowcat.
Why change the letter?
That's so dumb, man.
You know what? I think what's happening is that she was called Kitty, then she was called Kate, and now she's gonna be called Cat. And that's it. She's gonna just have the same name as me.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I look, I'm gonna read it. Obviously, I'm very excited to see what they do with it. Now that I think Marauders is over, they're like, well, we have to bring Kitty somewhere.
Yeah. I mean, I'm glad to see her on the X-Men. You know, I love Kitty Pryde, but
why change her again?
Because they don't know what they're doing with her.
They don't know what they're doing.
They're like, if she can't be with Colossus, who is she? If she's not hanging out with Wolverine, who is she?
Yeah. I'm glad they're getting away from the band jacket, though. Or the pirate
thing.
Yeah, I didn't really love that look, but
I don't know, man. I feel like X-Men's so all over the place now. It's so ridiculous right now. It's like, I remember we were struggling a while ago to get X-Men back, and I remember when they came out with like X-Men Gold and X-Men Blue and X-Men Red, and then that wasn't that great, and then it disappeared, and then you had Hickman bring back the X-Men, and that was actually good. And then now it just branched out into just this whole mess of stuff.
Yeah.
You know, hopefully it gets better. Maybe Shadowcat will we'll put everything back together again, right?
Uh-huh.
I don't know about. I love Kitty, but I don't know about that. Speaking of, well, first of all, we do have a question from Micah. Anyone else reading the Wolverine book? I'm really enjoying it.
Nope.
No
I
Wolverine.
haven't. Excuse me. I have not read Wolverine in quite a while.
Yeah.
They've had the same writer on it for a long time too.
Yeah, it's Benjamin Percy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been doing it for a while. Other X-Men news, they have the Fall of X stuff going on, and there's some titles that are going to be attached, and some you might be excited for, and some you're going to be like, oh, okay. But Astonishing Iceman is one. Children of the Vault makes sense. Dark X-Men, Realm of X, Alpha Flight, and then Uncanny Spider-Man. Okay.
that makes sense.
Sure. The X-Men has been really involved with Spider-Man. I guess with the maybe it's just a Madeline Pryor book, and they're just calling it Uncanny Spider-Man. Iceman, I don't know why they give
Why do you
Iceman
need a separate book?
Yeah, like why do we get Iceman books all the time and not like Kitty Pryde? I don't understand that one as much, but I know he has a fan base. The other ones, again, Uncanny Spider-Man, I can't tell you. Alpha Flight, has that ever really done well? And the other three, we don't know anything about Realm of X and Dark X-Men, but Children of Vault is probably the only one I think that makes super sense for this
It
lineup.
makes sense, but it doesn't excite me.
No.
I'm over the Vault stuff.
It's a story thread that should have been tackled, like, again, when Hickman was writing it. Like, we seem to be going back to stuff that, I don't know, man. It's a weird thing. It doesn't even seem like it's, I don't know. I don't even think it's an event, really. It's just basically just the title of all this stuff that's going on.
Right.
It's
kind of like Dark Reign. It's just like
it's just stuff that's happening in Marvel right now, basically.
Yeah.
It's kind of like going to be the Summer Symbiotes. It's going to be something like that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Iceman is Omega level and Spider-Man BFF for X-Men. Look, if they're gonna have Spider-Man and Iceman team up in a story, that'd be great. I don't know. I just feel like they gave Iceman a lot of tries. I just want to see it. Like, I really like the idea that Storm has her own series. Like, she's a fan favorite character, and give her a shot.
The Spider-Man is called what? Uncanny Spider-Man?
Uncanny Spider-Man.
They should have just had Firestar and freaking Iceman come together and just do Spider-Man and his amazing friends. That would have sold. That would sell.
That'd excite people.
Yep.
But I don't know. I think Uncanny Spider-Man will be this new Spider-Boy character. Yeah, it could be related to MJ because she is kind of related to the Gala stuff.
Right.
According to some people, she's gonna be dead. So
she might be dead. So who knows? She'll be revived in Uncanny Spider-Man as a mutant. Actually, that's the route they're going. Wouldn't be surprised.
All this does kick off with another gala. So.
Oh yeah, every year there's a gala.
Then in addition to those 6 books, there's 7 more it's crossing over with. By the way, so 13 titles.
What for this Uncanny X-Men stuff?
No, for the Fall of X.
Or Fall of X?
Yeah. So it's Iron Man, Uncanny Avengers, all the X books, and Wolverine. Yeah. So.
Oh, for you guys reading X-Men.
I will not be buying all this stuff. Yeah. Not for X-Men. X-Men is so rough right now. I just can't get into it. And I feel like every time they come out with something, it just gets a little bit more worse, you know?
I think we had the question when Uncanny Spider-Man's coming out. It looks like August. Those books are coming out.
Yeah, the gala comes out in July, so I'd assume all those would be August.
Yeah, I think
I'll check out the Spider-Man book.
It says it on there. Okay.
I'll check out Spider-Man, and I guess that's it. It depends on who's on the teams for the other ones,
right?
But the Spider-Man.
I need more information about them.
Yeah. We'll see how that turns out. All right, let's get into some media news, and I will say I put the Barbie trailer on here. We're gonna watch it because I know you guys want to watch the Barbie trailer. Get ready. We're going to watch it live. We are watching the Barbie trailer live, guys. Get ready. That'll be the last thing we'll do is watch the Barbie trailer. Give it a shot. Get excited. Barbie, let's go party. All right. First up is the Grim Reaper joins Wonder Man, the show. I had no opinions on this, but Mike, you did.
I think it's cool, man. It's his brother. I guess that's what he
Oh
is.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
so
I
that's his
forgot.
brother. So that's
Yeah.
cool, man. I like them trying to go outside of the box with these different characters that you don't normally see. And that's how you get to learn about, the Marvel universe and people getting introduced to new characters. So I'm good with that. I'm fine with that.
Next up is, let me see, E3 got canceled. Brant, you wanted to discuss that.
Yeah, just briefly. It's interesting to me. The reason they canceled is because all the major companies pulled out. It was like Xbox not going to show up.
I wonder why they do.
Ubisoft's not going to. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, it's like 4 big companies decided, yeah, we're not going to do it, and they were like, well, people don't care, so we're not going to do the show. That's just kind of sad.
That's crazy because when you
Right?
look at how big it was.
Yeah.
They would broadcast it on G4. They'd, it was the big thing.
It was huge, yeah.
And like you said, now they just do their own thing. So like Nintendo has their events.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's kind of like almost like why do it when you could broadcast it online?
Yeah. And it's like all these streaming services. Like why be part of the cable? We got our own streaming service.
Right.
We'll make all our own money. Not give it all to E3. That's.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm sure it's very expensive for them.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into the other thing you wanted to talk about. I knew you would want to discuss it, so I put it on. And as WWE in talks to merge with UFC, I even thought this was interesting because WWE is more of an acting thing, and UFC is like a legit sport. So
yeah, they actually confirmed this whole thing yesterday, so it is actually happening, and it'll be finalized in the second half of the year. And so it's like the parent company UFC Endeavor is purchasing WWE, and they're going to merge into a brand new company that's going to be publicly traded under the symbol TKO on the stock market. But yeah, it makes that overall company, the combined company, worth $21 billion. So it makes a lot of money since it's supposedly nothing's going to change. Like as far as,
it's going to be the same, but it's just owned by one.
Yeah.
That's a monopoly right there.
Well, yeah. So it's huge. And I don't know. We'll see if it changes anything going forward. But I know, like, insider for people that like wrestling and stuff, I know people were excited because Vince McMahon was not really involved in the day-to-day for a while. And now it seems like he is again, which is not as good. So we'll see what happens with that.
Some questions we got here. So Philosopher King says, if Marvel and DC pulled out of Free Comic Book Day, would it go the way of E3? Yeah, I think most people go to Free Comic Book Day for the Marvel and DC books. So absolutely. I would think so.
I think so too.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think they would because it just helps them. But another question suggestion was from Serenity. Once a month, this is just suggestion for the Patreon. Once a month, group hang where you do a call with the patrons via Zoom or Skype or whatever video call service you use. Don't know what you. That's a great idea.
Yeah,
that's fun.
Thank you for the suggestion. Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to see more stuff like that, we'll get added to a tier.
Yeah, and also, I don't think we talked about this, but if we have a bunch of patrons, we might consider doing our after show live to them. So right now we're just recording it because
yeah,
but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, so hopefully you guys could please support the Patreon. It really, really, truly helps us.
Yeah.
Next up is that My Adventures of Superman shifts from Cartoon Network to Adult Swim, which I thought was super interesting because I'm more excited for this now. It seems like it's gonna be more adult oriented.
Yeah,
more adult.
But what time is Adult Swim on now?
It's late.
Usually like 12 in the morning, I think. Yeah.
That's interesting. I don't get Cartoon Network. I don't think
I'm sure it'll be on HBO Max too.
Yeah, it is on HBO.
Is it? Yeah. I don't. Yeah, because I have YouTube TV, and so I don't think Cartoon Network is on there.
Check it out though. I definitely check that series out and see what it's all about. Oh, here's from Kaio. Mike, tell us about MegaCon. So you went on Sunday for MegaCon.
I did. I had a blast. I went with my son, and it was freaking crowded. I was telling Kat pre-show. We had, I think I went Sunday, but the security guy told me when I was walking through, there was over 92,000 people that came through on Saturday. So that was a lot. And I had a really good time. I ate lunch with a CGC guy. He's like, "Can I sit here?" I'm like, "Sure." And then we had a cool conversation about the operation of CGC, which was really a lot of fun. He told me the story of the big boom in like 2020 and 2021, how they couldn't handle everything. So that was interesting. I met Drew from Comics Elite, who writes Born of Blood. And so we had a conversation, super nice guy. And then I met Patrick from Mutant Beaver Comics, who's a sponsor of my channel, which was awesome. I didn't even expect him. I was texting him to find out if he was at the show, and he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "I'm at the panel with Joe Quesada right now." He's like, "Give me about an hour." So I was using the restroom, and I happened to come out of the restroom, and then there he was. And I was like, he's like, "Mike," and I'm like, I never met the guy in person, and I never saw him. We've always had text, and it was hilarious, and we had a great conversation with each other, and I got a whole bunch of stuff, and we had a great time, me and my son. So I'm actually doing I did not meet Bueller. I did not see him there. But I'm putting together a video of all the footage that I took there, and the video will be up on Saturday. So stay tuned for that on Saturday.
All right, let's get into the next thing, which is Scott Pilgrim has an anime, and the twist is everyone who was in that movie is going to be in this anime, which I think is great.
Oh, that's cool.
I'm not like a humongous fan of the movie, but I have friends that love it, and I definitely would like give it a shot.
I've never seen the whole movie.
I love the movie.
I don't remember if it was very long. I don't remember much about it, actually. I watched it probably 3 or 4 years ago. I don't know why I watched it.
Really?
Yeah.
It was. I like that it has like elements of like, I mean, it's live action, but it has elements of like anime and video games and like coin noises and stuff like that. And it was just out there and all-star cast, Michael Cera, Chris Evans, etc. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I had never read the books, so that was my introduction to the world. So I'm really excited about this, though, to hear all the voice cast from the movie in it. So it'll be good.
So the next thing is Destiny New York getting a TV show, which is so fun because I was saying before, Patchan's a good friend. And it's just really cool to see his success and how he's kind of a not made man, that's a mob. Self-made man. He's a made man now. And he really did all that his own, and this is huge. It's Sarah and Tegan and Sony Pictures, and it's just really interesting, and I congratulate him in all his endeavors, and it's just really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Congrats to Pat. He's been on this channel and some live streams with us before in the past, and always great to talk with, and so happy for his success. So that's really cool.
I agree. So moving on to Joe Quesada joining Amazon. That was huge. So what I find interesting about that is that because Amazon has been doing so much comic content with The Boys and Invincible, and obviously Joe Quesada doing some stuff with Marvel Television, what is he going to bring? And him, I think it's an overall deal. So overall deal means like first look overall deal means he has a production company. People could pitch stuff to him and he could make these TV shows happen. I wonder if they'll all be superhero stuff, or is he just, moving away from that? This is pretty huge.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see what exactly comes out of this, because I just have no idea. So.
Could be anything, but I think it's a big move. It's an important move for them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right? Because they're putting out this content and they need a mind like him. They had experience to be on their side, So that's a great move for him, considering what's happened to him while he was at Marvel. I mean, now he's in a much more prominent role once again.
Yeah.
For sure. And doing his own thing too.
Mm-hmm.
So next up is all the trailers. So let's talk about Spider-Verse first, because I don't think Brant had a chance to watch that one.
No.
I did, because I'm so freaking excited for this movie. And
I'm excited because it's got May in it.
That, and I mean, even if May wasn't in it, May is like, I'm gonna be so excited. It was so funny. I was having a conversation about this like when the first trailer came out, and my friends know I'm a big Mayday fan, and I was excited for this movie even before Mayday. I was like, oh, I think Mayday might be in it, blah blah. So I watched the trailer and I said, oh man, it sucks that it might be the anime version because she kind of has red hair, so I don't know if they're gonna go like the Mayday route. And then one of my friends was like, you're never happy, Kat. They could be shouting out your YouTube channel and you won't be happy. And I said, well, they didn't shout out my Kickstarter, so why would I be happy?
Yeah.
But all jokes aside on that one, I really like the trailer. I think seeing Ben Reilly was cool. Spider-Punk was cool. I don't know how to feel about the romance between Gwen and Miles, but we'll see where that ends up going. But I hope this is just as good as the first or even better.
They showed Spider-Man 2099. Did he look like he was the villain in there? Is that what I was getting at there?
I mean, that's what they introduced him.
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah,
that's
right.
What I got from the first trailer.
Yeah, it looked like he was the villain in it. And the Spot was in there. I like the beginning of the trailer with the Spot. That was really cool.
I just saw that. I'm watching it now. But yeah,
it's cool to see all the different Spider characters in there briefly. Like they threw a lot at you in this trailer, so I thought it was a lot of fun. Did you guys notice that Miguel showed his fangs in this trailer? That's what I thought. And he had red eyes and everything. So yeah, I thought they specifically called her Mayday in the trailer.
It's definitely Mayday, but I don't know, because again, it's the red hair. I don't know what. I think they're just kind of culminating both characters.
Yeah.
It's still Mayday, but she's a baby. So I don't know how much they're going to actually take from the original character.
Exactly. I think it's going to be a great movie, and there's going to be a lot of people that go see that. So good stuff there. Great to see all the different characters. There's going to be a lot to look at, and I think they're kind of smart there because they're going to make it to the point where, oh, hey, you're going to want to see this movie again because we know there's something there that you're going to miss.
Yeah.
Oh, we have Drew in the comments said, hey, man, it was great meeting you at MegaCon.
Oh, it's awesome, Drew. Yeah, we had a blast. We had such a great conversation. It was so funny when I was there at the booth. He was like, well, Mike, it was just like, it's always so weird when you see people like on screen and then you see them in person or whatnot. And you're like, you're always used to seeing somebody from like here up, right? And so when I saw Drew from there, he's tall, man. I never thought he's that tall. And I remember it was the same thing with Kat. Like I never seen Kat before.
I'm short.
You know, she was tiny when I saw her. I was like, oh my God, it was hilarious. But yeah, we had a great conversation. We talked for like good 15 minutes. I met his crew. He gave me some books. Yeah, just awesome, man. Just a really great time.
How tall are you, Mike?
5'7". I'm
5'7". Okay.
I'm 5'7", maybe with shoes on.
I wasn't looking up at Mike when I met him.
It's so funny because, like you said, when we see each other on the screen, you know, people might assume like Mike's the tallest of us, but I'm 6 foot, so it's like
that's crazy. I don't see that, you know, because see, Brant, he sits even lower on the screen, so it makes you think maybe he's shorter. But yeah, I'm tiny, man. I'm just 5'7". That's why I play tennis and not basketball.
That's so. Oh, I thought you'd be like 6'1", Mike.
Man, I wish I was. I wish I was.
Then you'd be playing basketball.
Maybe.
All right, moving on to.
He was taller. He was a baller.
And Brant is a tall one. What is reality?
Right.
That's funny. Next up is the Blue Beetle trailer. So
I did see this one actually. So
that's why I was like, all right, I gotta save this one. And don't worry, we're all gonna watch Barbie, so it'll be fine. But no, Blue Beetle, I liked it. I thought it was really fun. I forgot George Lopez was in this movie. And I was like, is that George Lopez? But it looks cool. I like that it really feels like they're trying to do Spider-Man for the DC universe, though. It really felt like, oh, this is like a Spider-Man movie. But also, I like that there was a lot about like Hispanic culture. It was a lot about family, which was really, really cool. So I'm interested. I'm definitely interested in the movie.
I got Spider-Man, Iron Man. That's what I got out of it.
Right.
But I love the cast in it, so that's why I definitely want to see it. I love George Lopez. I think he's hilarious. So him being in the movie is a plus. The only thing I did not like is that they spoiled the transformation of him changing into the Blue Beetle.
That was such a funny scene. I was like, oh, I wish I saw that in theaters.
Yeah, exactly. So I wish they did not do that. There's so many other different things I felt that they could have done to, sell that to people. You want to see that origin 100% on the screen while you're there, not in a trailer.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. Aside from that, though, a really good trailer. And this is probably the most excited I've been about Blue Beetle and specifically the Jaime version ever. So, it really pulled me into it. I was like, man, I got to see this movie.
But I feel like they also showed stuff from Ted Cord too, because they had the ship, which I thought was interesting. Right. So I think they're going to really do both.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be an interesting movie. I hope it's better than Shazam 2. I know you guys referred in the comments, but it's not a good movie.
The actor, he's the one from Cobra Kai, right?
Yes.
Okay. I knew I recognized him from somewhere, and it took me a minute. I was like, oh, wait.
Miguel.
Yeah.
All right, guys, it's time.
I can't believe. Are we seriously watching
this?
Right
now?
We're gonna watch the Barbie trailer.
Shit!
You guys got to give it a shot.
I went out of my way to watch it the first time, and I did not mark it for a reason.
I went out of my way not to watch it.
We're gonna watch the Barbie trailer. Let the fans love it. Let's do it. Let's have a reaction. Yeah, the fans, they want it. The audience, they love it.
Is there any fan of Barbie in the audience here today?
Yeah, 100%. Look, I need to hear the reservations. It's not, you guys are judging Barbie for Barbie. Barbie shouldn't be judged. I
saw the first trailer.
No, this is a good trailer. This is good. This live reaction. Let's go, guys. Barbie. And Willie, look, now it's 50-50. Margot, maybe. Go for Kat. Throw her a bone already. Team Barbie and Team Dazzler. Barbie was a horrible trailer. Spider-Man 2099. We agree on some things. We disagree on others.
Oh my gosh.
It's good. I don't know if are we allowed to
show it then if you're gonna show it.
Are we allowed to share it on the screen? I don't know. I don't know. We might have to.
A smaller version. I think you can if it's smaller. It's not like
we could just do it not full screen. All right, let's see.
Don't do it full screen.
Let me screen share it. And would you be able to hear the sound, or I probably have to take my earphones out?
I think there's something you can.
Yeah. Tell me if you could hear the sound.
Yes.
You guys hear it? Okay. I won't go full screen.
Oh, girl, here we go. Oh my God.
Look! It's all colorful.
It's all pink. It's a pink beach.
Yeah. Everyone's Barbie. And then we got Shang-Chi.
Who?
Try to put the music over. Talk over the music.
I don't know, man. I like Margot Robbie's hot, so that's like the only reason why.
Yes, Margot Robbie's hot.
I see it. Like I cannot. Was that Ryan Gosling that plays Ken? Is that who that is? Yep. So it's like, why would I want to?
Yeah, it is Ryan Gosling, and then they're all Ken, and they're all Barbie.
No, this is.
And it's gonna be a movie about identity. Will Ferrell plays like the head of Mattel in this movie. There's gonna be so much social commentary. It's gonna be a brilliant movie.
I cannot sit through this. This is not a movie I want to see. I'm not paying money to see this. Even if someone paid me to see this, I'm not watching it.
I had to skip some of the music.
Brand is speechless because he doesn't even know what to think of it.
No, he's really into it.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
That's the reason why.
Theaters July 21st.
You want me to watch this Join our Patreon and pay me to do it. It's the only way it's happening.
Do you notice how it says only in theaters on July 21st? So it's
can't-
in the theaters for one day.
No, that's not how that works.
Yeah,
Only in
that's how it's
theaters because
working.
it's not going to be streaming.
That's what Mike wants. It's like one day and
Look,
done
all right.
forever. What?
I'm just ready for Barbie. I will say Spider-Verse is number one. Spider-Verse is right there. It's my favorite movie ever. So that's number one. But
Barbie's
number
even
two is
more
Barbie.
better than this coming out.
I don't think you guys get
I cannot wait.
it. It's
until
highbrow.
Until you see it, and you're gonna be like, Mike, Brant, this was the worst movie I ever saw in my life.
Greta Gerwig has never made a bad movie, and she only makes highbrow movies. She made Lady Bird, she made Little Woman, she's made Frances Ha. They're all highbrow films. So I think Barbie. I think you guys are judging it from its picture. It's going to be brilliant.
I'm not going to see it. I'm not watching it. I don't care. It could be rated 1,000 on Rotten Tomatoes, even though I never check Rotten Tomatoes, like we talked about. I'm never going to see that movie.
Willie was like, nah. Now he's like, all right, I'll give it a shot.
Yep.
Well, you can let us know, Willie, what you think about it after.
Absolutely.
Infamous Mike Manhattan says, I've never seen Kat this excited.
I know. Tell me about it. There's all these other things out in the world, and a Barbie movie excites her out of everything here.
I love like the possibility of deconstructing the American dream through Barbie. Like that's like my bread and butter for storytelling. If you could like show something on the surface and be like, here's this like femme Margot Robbie, and like let's actually tell a bigger story. And which I really truly believe that's what this is going to be. I think it's going to tell a bigger story than Barbie. And I like that the trailer doesn't say too much. I think it's going to be a brilliant movie. I think it's going to be better than Mario Brothers. It's going to be better than Sonic.
I don't know about that. I do disagree with Spider-Man 2099 that says it's not going to make much money, though. You got
it's going to be
incredible star power and a concept that transcends generations, unfortunately.
Yeah.
You guys got to give it a shot.
Nope.
I'm gonna tell you everything about it.
No. Good,
So
you can. And I'll just like probably tune it out. I can't. Listen, I have an open mind to a lot of movies out there. A lot. No.
It's better than G.I. Joe. Oof, that's fighting words for Brant right there.
Well, I mean, if we're talking the movies, that's
Is it better than Snake Eyes?
Yeah,
that could be debatable.
Guys, you guys gotta go on Letterboxd, guys. You gotta get into the movie community. People are excited. This is the movie of the year, Barbie.
It's fine and well people are excited. I'm not one of them.
Which movie?
All right, we spent a lot of time on Barbie, so let's move on now. I think that was the last news topic, right?
Yeah, it was the last news topic.
That's the last one. So
we'll do a whole podcast on it.
Wow.
Don't worry.
Never thought
we got now. People are like, Mike, you got to do it for the channel.
Yeah. I think it's gonna happen. We have until July. And also aggressive relaxing. Barbie's got a serious following. The naysaying is reminding me of Avatar. Yeah, and Avatar did so wonderful.
Mike, if you do watch this and you do a video on it, you got to channel your inner Jim and Strawberry Shortcake stuff.
Oh my god!
Dip back into the old stuff, man.
Oh geez. If you guys weren't around back quite a while ago, if you guys know who Jem is, I dressed up as Jem, and then I dressed up as
Strawberry Shortcake.
with the thing going like this with the batter and everything. Oh my gosh. Wow.
So if you want to see Mike as Barbie,
join our Patreon.
Go on Patreon. We'll figure it out.
Don't worry. I'm gonna make it happen.
We've lost it. It's done.
Yeah.
Oh man, somebody remembers that. Oh, I remember that video that made me subscribe.
Oh damn!
Nice.
There you go. See,
Nice.
Shrining's been a longtime fan because of Jem. Imagine what you could do with Barbie. Imagine.
Yep. I did some crazy stuff back then.
Gotta continue the crazy train. I'm excited for it.
We deleted those videos actually.
Those yeah.
We
Those
did.
Probably.
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, guys.
That's stuff I didn't want out there anymore.
There's a lot of stuff we didn't want out there.
Why
Yeah,
not one of the Misfits, Mike? You know what?
Oh.
I like the Misfits. I should have done one of them, but I think I didn't have like green paint because I think one of them was like green. I think I had pink. That's what I had, so that's why it went on.
Is this a compliment? I don't know who Skipper is.
Skipper's Barbie's little sister. I even know that.
I didn't know.
One
I don't
fact.
actually know. Okay, the thing about this movie, I don't know anything about Barbie's culture. I just really excited for this movie. I probably owned 1 or 2 Barbie dolls in the past, but like I don't care about Barbie. I care about
cousin
Barbie the movie.
My cousin, who's like 2 years older than me, had tons of Barbies, and I used to live with her when I was like 10. So I know more than I should about Barbie and her whole thing.
I don't mean to interrupt you guys here, but Serenity knows a lot about Gem. He remembers all the characters, all their names, everything, man.
I'm proud of
Crazy.
you, Serenity.
It's awesome.
Maybe he read the IDW comic that came out. Who knows?
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. That's why I did the whole Gem thing to begin with.
Yeah,
that's because
exactly.
because of the comic. Yeah.
Oh,
All right, let's move on. I gotta get to bed.
All right,
So,
most anticipated. Let's
Oh,
talk
I forgot.
about these.
Yeah, we still do have most anticipated.
Yeah,
There we go.
I'm just gonna jump around. Let's talk about Amazing Spider-Man because we all have that on our list.
It always goes back to, am I ever excited for Spider-Man these days? No.
Right.
Am I always anticipating it? Hell yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So that's
I want more answers, baby, about Paul.
Yeah.
And I guess we're going to get the answer about why everyone's pissed off at Peter. So I think that's the big thing there.
Is that in this issue or is that still coming out?
No, we're going to get why people are upset at Peter. And then we're building up to what happens to whoever. So
Gotcha. All right. So that was mine and Kat's number 2 and Mike's number 3. Let's go to Codename Ric Flair, this book that Mike told me about last week. I think this is from Scout, actually. He's a secret spy for the U.S. government as he's going around the country wrestling.
Hell yeah. There you go. That's Ric Flair for you.
Crazy.
And he probably walking around going, woo, all day.
Yeah, that's so crazy.
He's probably doing his dance.
Yeah.
Woo.
Oh, wow.
I'm picking it up.
Yeah. All right. So Saga is back finally. Issue 63. It's Cat's number 3.
Yeah, no, I love Saga. It's a book that never disappoints, which is why it's on the list. It's always a really solid book, even if it's a slower issue. There's always nice gems of character work. So
yeah,
interested to see where it goes.
Yeah. Mike's number 2 is Nightclub number 4. Last issue was really good.
Yeah, and this issue we're going to get more of an origin tale about where those new bad guys that you saw.
Oh yeah, yeah, right.
Yeah, and then you're also going to find out more about the original vampire that bit our main character.
Nice.
So you got to find out more of him in this issue.
Very cool. And Kat, you're excited about Second Coming back again? Trinity.
I'm the only one that reads it. I don't know how many people read this book, but I love it. It's so freaking good. I love the commentary. It's funny. It's a good superhero book. It's so good. I love it. And the art's really well done because it's the same artist who does the Jesus side of things, and it's like really, really scratchy and muddy, and it works. And then you kind of have this bright superhero side of things, and yeah, it's really good. Kyle says Saga puts me to sleep. Oh, that's sad. Say Jesus. Jesus is a main character in the book, which is hysterical. It's the concept of the book is if Jesus and a superhero were roommates.
Yeah. And then mine and Mike's number 1 is The Flash, 796.
That's it. The final issue of the event. So,
oh, is it the final one? I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah.
I didn't either.
That sucks.
Yeah, it does. It really does.
So really good. Hopefully the conclusion will be solid. And then I think we got a few more issues with him on it,
With
and
his
then
run,
that's
yeah.
it. Then he'll be done, and then heading to Green Lantern.
Yep. All right. So that's our most anticipated.
All right. So there we go. Just over 2 hours. So we had a good show. Spent about hour and 45 minutes talking about Barbie.
And guess what? The views went up when we were talking about Barbie.
Exactly.
So.
I thought they actually went down a little bit when we were talking about
They went
Barbie.
up. They actually, it was the highest of our show.
I almost turned it off.
All right, guys. So we're going to sign off for the night. Thank you so much for watching, as always. So if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. And, of course, consider subscribing to both Comic Book Weekly and Comic Book Corner 2.0. And make sure you hit that bell so you don't miss when this live show goes live and any other of the videos that we put out. And, of course, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram. Last week I said MySpace, so I'll say it again. Check out MySpace. You can check it out, but you won't find anything, I don't think, anymore. Right. And then and that's it. So I guess we're all done for the night. So again, guys, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next week. Hopefully you enjoyed the show. Take care, everyone.
Bye, everybody.